Welcome to another part of RC Cars. This time we're doing 4 more races. I actually miscounted last time. It's not 3, it's 4. We're doing AAD Base first, and you might recognize AAD Base a little bit when we get into this. As you can see, a few people here have 2 levels instead of 1. We won't be needing that though. Now, it starts off not looking anywhere similar to, what we have. We have that gate there and all of that. But then we have, like, this base, and that was a sick fucking flip. This little shortcut here isn't really a good shortcut, to be honest. But you can kind of see that this is, like, the base... Oh my god, I just gotta bring that up now, don't I? Yeah, the checkpoints are more stingy on their hitboxes than they are in Smash Cars. It's actually just complete bullshit to deal with. But, yeah, as you can see, this does have a lot of similarities and assets and such to, the whole base area. But you can obviously see that it is very much in no way a map you've seen before. That's because AAD Base, despite having these assets, is its own map. It is a map that never appeared in Smash Cars. We never had to do this, so... Hey, we have something new at least. We have something unique and special to look into for a map that never appeared in the later game. Which should say a lot because, to be honest, it's also a very bumpy fucking map. However, I don't hate AAD Base. I think AAD Base as a map is actually pretty nice. And in some cases is even better than some of the maps we actually got in Smash Cars. So... even though this shortcut here fucking sucks, ultimately, when it comes to the map as a whole, I actually don't mind it. Like, as it's not a military map, to be fair, but for a military map, this is actually pretty basic, but also okay. And I don't find it to be as, bullshit to navigate in. But that bit there is the most bullshit part of navigation, to be honest. Everything else afterwards, though, not a problem. But, you might be also noticing that I am losing boost a lot. I am in, like, the near negative at this point on boost. That's because of the fact that we don't have any tricks to do and shit, which means that getting boost back is going to be very much problematic this time. I'm sure I can do some hits and great hits and all that to get some boost back. I'm sure the checkpoints help as well. And yeah, it grows back, after a bit. But as you can see, it's just not enough. I'm not getting enough for me to handle a track like this. Which is a problem, because you need a lot of boost to get through this. Because now the AI is starting to become quite a bit of a bastard. In fact, at this point, I'm not going to deal with that fucking shortcut. I'm just going to continue on the actual regular path. Which, sure, it's bumpy, but as you can see, it's not a problem. It's actually, honestly, faster to go that way, and easier, too, than the actual shortcut, quote-unquote. And to be honest, yeah, this part does suck. That's the only part I hate, this entire little bit there of the cars and such. But other than that, everything else here is genuinely fine. And eventually I do figure out the actual path they want me to go that won't lead to me getting fucking lost there. But, yeah, this is essentially the map. And I think this goes on a bit too long to justify that thing because there really isn't much to look at this point. You've seen everything now already in 3 fucking laps, as it should have been, instead of 5. I still don't know why it's 5. But even with 5 laps in every single fucking one of these, you can notice that, for 4 fucking tracks, the length we have right now, which is under 30 minutes, not a long game. In fact, I am willing to bet you that this game only just about goes over an hour. Ultimately, this game is an hour of fucking game, and once you beat the competition, that's legitimately it. There's nothing else. There is no extra tracks to unlock, there's no bonus modes, there's nothing to really look into outside of maybe a multiplayer thing, which, why would you play the multiplayer of this? Why would you? This game sucks to play and such. Its physics are horrible, its controls are horrible. It's not really fun to play, and on a multiplayer aspect, it would just be complete dog shit. So, I don't know why you would want to play the multiplayer for this, including the fact it's only online. but, I mean, if you wanted to. You can also notice just how big of a gap the AI has, where second and third place kind of stay together a bit. Right now, fourth place is also trying its best to stay close, but eventually that's going to very much change very soon. But you can obviously see that fifth place there, way behind everybody else, and then there's just last place. Look at last place right now. Oh, by the way, I should talk about the fucking flipping over bullshit. I honestly tried this a few times beforehand, and I thought that by jumping, I would be able to correct myself. But anytime I jumped beforehand in practice, it would never correct itself. So I was just stuck. Well, it wants to work afterwards, after I did, like, the first fucking video. But beforehand, I was on the, you know, the thought that, unfortunately, the game is just really much dog shit in what it wants to do, so I'm kind of forced into, you know, that was supposed to happen right there. I'm kind of forced into just respawning at the checkpoint every time. But no, that doesn't happen. In fact, what does happen is you're supposed to jump, in which it respawns you right where you flipped over. But this game doesn't really want to do that sometimes, and so I just press the jump button and nothing happens, and I'm just stuck there. That has happened to me multiple fucking times. So, yeah, now that I see it's working this time, I'm going to avoid doing the go back to checkpoint thing. But as you can see, I have a good amount of money, we have some spare, you know, we have 600 bucks. I'm going to, I believe, upgrade my car again, because I think I can. If not, we're going straight to mines, and you should definitely recognize mines. Because unlike this one, the AAD Base, mines is like no different except for visual. I think I'm gonna get the upgrade on the engine. Yeah. So yeah, that takes care of about half the money we have. As you can see, the money is really increasing, like greatly. We can sell the part we have currently, but we can't sell the part we got beforehand. We have to sell the part we just bought in order to sell the part beforehand, so we can't get money back, which is stupid. Well, yeah, as you can see, this is pretty much that one mine area that, you know, the level sucked, but you can see that it's much more muddy, it's much more brown, and, yeah, besides that, a lot of the same shit is here, and it is sort of like the same crap, and I did forget about that hole there. That hole always fucks me, but, we do also remember the shortcut here that the AI never really takes, and that we can utilize so well. And also, yeah, sometimes the respawn doesn't want to work correctly. Oh no, I am very far in last place. Look how far these fuckers are getting. Oh wait, we have this shortcut here. If I take it. Well, good news, I am now right the fuck back at 4th place. And this is great, if not for this shit. So, I believe in Smash Cars, the tracks were like very flat in a sense. They're not fucking flat here, and they actually act as obstacles. Forced obstacles, in fact. Shit that will fuck you up and throw you all about very easily. Just in case you genuinely believe that this game and its physics aren't going to be that garbage, that shit happens. And, yeah, it's just going to be an absolute miserable experience. But at the very least, slightly touching anyone will knock them over to the walls, so I can recover myself a little bit there. And since I do remember this map, and good news, it's still the same in its layout, we can utilize this to our advantage by essentially just, you know, trying to not fuck ourselves. Hard to do. But there is something else that we can do. Every time we get a checkpoint, we are able to essentially be respawned at the checkpoint. And as you can see from the checkpoint that we went to beforehand, it was respawning us essentially right towards the direction we should be going. With this in mind, what if I just use the respawn when we get to that checkpoint? Instead of me having to make that wide, crappy turn to get over to the area, what if I just respawn and go straight forward? As you'll soon see, that is pretty much going to be the strategy for that little bit there, besides the shortcut. And, yeah, besides the shitty track problem, everything else here is still the same mine track from Smash Cars. So, what we have learnt from there, we can still use here. So luckily, things haven't changed here. That's the good news. So that means this track is easy to me. Kind of. The bad news is that not only do I have the little issues about the physics being shittier and the whole track thing, I also have the issue of just, you know, the AI being a douchebag. Because as you can see, Max Mad here, he's really fucking ahead, isn't he? Look at him. Like, the person in second place is 10 seconds behind him. Like, that's pretty bad. That's pretty fucked. And, yeah, we need to deal with this. So, ultimately, because of just how fucked this is, there is the little issues of just having to manage through this and not get screwed over, because, as you can see, the AI is starting to get douchier. They're starting to have more of a gap, they're starting to get faster and more accurate, and that's gonna be a massive fucking problem when we get to the last 3 tracks, because by that point, it's no mistakes made. If you make a mistake, you better hope that God gives you a fucking chance after that mistake, or else you're gonna lose a lot of money. Because at this point, we are going to be losing quite a lot from here on out if we don't make it through this shit. Because remember, I'm still not taking second place really, so if I don't get first, I'm going to end up just taking the L, backing out and trying again, and I will lose the money I started with, essentially. Luckily, when we get through this, I will have enough for me to have at least 2 attempts on each track that I go for next. But, yeah, ultimately I'm going to, you know, lose money regardless if I do fuck up. And it's very easy to fuck up. It is very easy to make any kind of a mistake, usually out of your own hands. Like, I'm not doing that badly at the game. Let's be fair here. I am adapting to how this is controlling, and I am doing my best at the tracks that I even recognize. The issue, however, is the very fucking fact that the fists and bumps of this game make it so that you can very easily be flung all over the fucking place beyond your control. So because of that very factor, because even jumping will fuck you like what happened there, it's just a nightmare to deal with. And when we get into those last 3 tracks, those kinds of mistakes will 100% guarantee you get fucked. So I end up doing a trick, and that trick is essentially just the saves. The saves in this game are 1 file, and since it's a PC game, it's very easy to back up your saves. It's not like a fucking PS2 game or what have you, where you usually have the 1 save unless you pull that memory card and then do your shit. Like, that's not the fucking fact here. The fact here is that the save is 1 file in your PC, and it's usually inside the program file where the game is. So all I would have to do is locate it, and then just copy the save file into a different part of my computer. And so if something bad does happen, I can then delete the save file where I fucked it, and then put back the save file where I didn't fuck it. Now the good news is that I didn't have to do that trick at all for these videos you have seen so far. That is not the case in the final part. In fact, I believe I had to do that 3 fucking times. And that was solely because the last level. That's it. The last level was the reason why I kept deleting and redoing with that bullshit in mind. It sucks. Anyway, you can see that I am getting money and I'm getting the bonus stuff, but yeah, I'm not hitting the limit now because I'm not hitting stuff because not many stuff on the track, and when it comes to how much space I'm getting, sure, I got a whole lot of space there, but eventually, it's gonna get very hard to keep having that space, so the bonus money isn't gonna be a factor anymore when we get to a certain point. But right now, we have camping. Camping is going to be interesting. I'll say that much. Camping is an interesting track. And we're going to do it right now, because I don't really want to pay any more money until we have a fair amount for it to be safe for me to then spend it on upgrades. As you can see, it starts going from 50 and it starts being like 300, 400, 500, all that shit. Now, you recognize this already. This is like the highway area, where there's also a village at the other end. This is one of those tracks where it got a bit of a design change when it came to Smash Cars, because this part's still the same, but then we get to that actual village part, the village ain't here. It's instead like a beach area, with a whole bunch of shitty rocks. So yeah, that changed, and not only that, but there's also a little area that isn't even there anymore, that is in Smash Cars, but it's on the right here. There would usually be like a little bit of a hill there, that's not a checkpoint there. That's not here either. So, this one got quite a bit of a design change, but ultimately the other half of it is still relatively the same. It's just, you know, there's one little issue here, and it is the fact that, unfortunately, our opponents, they're going to be right up our ass for the majority of this, because here's another little factor about them cheating. It's the fact that it seems that they have infinite boosts. Because it's hard for me to tell if what they're actually going for is the fucking speed they actually have. And a reminder, look at the boost you have at max and how much you actually gain from all of this shit. I want you to note this because ultimately, the AI is going to be just zooming through like they have the max amount of boost possible in the game, and then some. Like, I genuinely believe these fuckers have way too much boost than what the fucking player is given at a maximum capacity. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the other cars have more boost and such. The problem is the game wants me to have those other cars, which I can't get because the developers made the cost for those cars way too fucking much. In fact, it costs more to get the second car in the fucking game than it does to just do the final race. It costs more to get that than just to, you know, gradually upgrade the car you start off with until you get to the final race in which you have nearly max fucking stats for this car. Like, at that point, why the fuck would you ever want to buy the other car? Sure, you can sell this car and then buy the other one, but there's a very good chance that by doing that, not only are you now slower and worse than how you were beforehand because you can't upgrade the fucker yet because you don't have any money for it, but if you do upgrade it, you might end up spending too much at that point because of the upgrade itself and not being able to go into the next race that you don't want to repeat. And that's another thing too. I don't want to repeat these. I don't want to grind for money in order for me to get the next fucking car or the next upgrade. I just want to do the competition like one after the other. I want my own skill to judge here and not just some completely unnecessary bullshit of grinding. But it eventually does start to feel like the game is intending me 100% to grind because it becomes a near impossible fight for me eventually when we get to the last track. And even then, even if I had the best vehicle with the max upgrades possible, I feel like even then, I would still struggle with the final track, because the final track is such a fucking shit show. Like, I've already explained to you how bad this game plays and its fits and such. The final track essentially just captivates everything bad with this version of the game and just really showcases it to its umpteenth extreme. Genuinely, it does. Like, every other track here, you know, they showcase little bits of problems here and there, but you can kind of tell that there is something here. You know, there is something to fight with still. But not the final track. And now we're going into AWACS, which after that we just have Rancho, Solo, and Warpath. And Rancho is the ranch level. We know the ranch level. That came way later in fucking Smash Cars, and it sucked. But we know how to deal with it still. We know of its shortcuts. And genuinely, getting through these races at this point, to me, feels harder than going through them in Smash Cars. Not even a fucking exaggeration. Because again, the game, at the very least, like, gives you this feeling, this genuine feeling, where, you know, you believe that you are increasing, you know, in skill and speed and such, because the game is giving you cars and upgrades for you to work with. That's not the case here. The game doesn't give you any leeway, and here in AWACS, which is this fucking track again, guess what? I failed again. Because now the AI is truly bullshit. And because of this, I would have gone second, or even third here. I wasn't gonna take that, however. So I backed out, lost my $300, and now I only have the second chance. So yeah. If you wanted to, you can take the second place, take the money. But yeah, I'm not taking that. And the thing is, you're starting to notice that second place isn't really rewarding. I think second place is like $200, and that's not enough for you to redo this track. So yeah, getting second place, sure, you can kind of recover in costs a little bit, but it's such a detrimental loss still. Because if it's your last goal like it is for me right here, if I only get second, I only get $275. I am $25 short of redoing this. I don't want to redo these fucking tracks. So unfortunately, I'm forced to. And I mean, I could just do the track I did beforehand, but what if I lose that one? I lose more money. That fucks me up even further. And you can lose very easily at this point, simply because the game's fucking you over. At this point, there is so much shit here that can fuck you over at disadvantage, while the AI has no issues getting around it, at all. At this point, as you can see, the AI is able to get through this no problem. And then you have the fact that you have these fuckers. Now, the good news is Smash Cars, if you were shot, you were just knocked around. You can continue on. RC Cars decided, you know, what if we actually had the car die? When you get shot in this game, you can't recover from it. If you get that full of lead thing, you can't move, you can't jump, you can't recover, and after a little bit of time, you are forced back to the checkpoint. Now, the thing is, this is completely fucking random. For me, usually, I don't end up getting shot. The chance of that, right now, is fairly low. And I mean, the AI can also get shot, but for them also, it is fairly low. I genuinely believe the developers create studios. When you get into the later tracks, they increase the chance of you getting fucking shot. And also, I tried to avoid getting fucked around from that little bump there, so I tried to jump. But jumping fucks me over there. Do you see the fucking problem at this point with this fucking garbage? Every single thing, even a flat fucking platform for me to jump onto will fuck me. And the worst obstacle is the gun. And at this point, besides the fucking ranch level, we are going to be seeing the gunman. And the gunman is going to have a better chance of fucking us over, because I genuinely feel like the chance of you getting shot increases after this level. Like the last time we saw the gun guy, he almost never shot us really. He almost never shot anyone. But now he is shooting well more than fucking beforehand. And that's gonna increase more and fucking more. Warpath is gonna be the absolute worst of it, but just keep in mind that from where we are right now, this fucker is the worst obstacle. And the thing is, you can't really avoid him. There is a sort of radius you can be at to avoid him, but ultimately, you can't just hide behind a thing to avoid him. He can still kind of see you and shoot at you. So yeah, that's it for this part. I just barely won. As you saw, the AI stayed very close behind me too, so we have that issue to deal with as well. And we'll be dealing with all of that next time on the final part of RC Cars with Ranch, Silo, and the fucking Warpath. Thanks for watching. I will see you then for that.